10 Top Tourist Attractions in Florence, Italy. Florence, the capital of Tuscany in Italy, is well known around the world for having a significant concentration of Renaissance art and architecture. The city gave rise to the Italian Renaissance movement as a result of its role as a prosperous and significant center for medieval trade and commerce. Along with the invention of opera and the florin currency, which helped bring Europe out of the Dark Ages, Florence is also associated with the propagation of several artists, inventors, writers, scientists, and explorers. Every year, millions of people go to Florence, which resembles one gigantic outdoor art gallery. The best way to see the main tourist destinations in Florence is on foot. The Ponte Vecchio, a stunning bridge spanning the Arno River and housing a number of upscale jewelry stores, is among the best places to walk. An overview of Florence's top attractions. Mercato Nuovo. The Mercato Nuovo is one of Florence's oddest markets, covered by an elaborate loggia supported by open arches. Although items like straw hats are available here, the history and mythology surrounding Mercato Nuovo are what draw tourists in the most. The Stone of Shame, where debtors used to be spanked bare-bottomed, is located in the middle of the loggia. This approach may have given rise to the colorful Italian term about ending up broke. The Fontana del Porcellino, a fountain with a bronze boar figure, is located on the loggia's southern side. It is considered to bring luck to rub the piglet's snout. 9. San Miniato al Monte. The oldest church in Florence gives sweeping views of one of Italy's most beautiful towns from its vantage point high above a hill. Its attractive green and white exterior conceals a treasure trove of exquisite artwork. The chapels of the Romanesque building are decorated with medieval frescoes, mosaics, and inlaid marble floors. Additionally, the Renaissance era is well represented. The Cappella del Cardinale del Portogallo exhibits the diversity of the time with its carved pillars, medallion ceilings, marble statues, and vibrant frescoes. Early in the evening, when Benedictine monks perform Mass while singing Gregorian chants, San Miniato is at its most romantic. 8. Piazza della Repubblica. The Piazza della Repubblica, one of Florence's oldest neighborhoods, is located on the site of the city's Roman Forum. The exact location of the historic settlement is marked by the Collana dell'Abbondanza, a monument constructed in 1431. The plaza, which was heavily populated during the Middle Ages, underwent a comprehensive renovation in the 1800s. On the west side of the plaza, a triumphal arch honors the transition. The plaza's most noticeable features now are its exquisite neoclassical buildings, high-end stores, and outdoor cafes, including the renowned Jub Ross Café, a well-known gathering spot for artists and authors. 7. Loggia dei Lanzi. At this ceremonial structure next to the Piazza della Signoria's corner, Renaissance art and architecture are prominently displayed. Wide arches encourage visitors to observe the sculptures beneath the bay of this outdoor gallery, which is supported by columns with capitals made of Corinthian pillars. The main draw is a bronze figure of Perseus carrying the head of Medusa by Benvenuto Cellini. The Rape of the Sabine Women by Giambologna, which was carved from a solitary block of white marble, is also breathtaking. The dramatic sculpture, which is regarded as a masterpiece of composition and movement, was made to be seen from all angles. 6. Santa Croce Church. A trip to Florence would not be complete without paying respects to some of the most illustrious locals, many of whom are interred at the church known as the Temple of the Italian Glories. The largest Franciscan church in the world, Santa Croce, is where famous people like Michelangelo, Rossini, Galileo, and Dante are buried. Astonishing artwork can also be found in the 16 chapels of the cathedral, including frescoes by Giotto created at the height of his prowess. His Death of St. Francis realism served as a cornerstone for the Renaissance. The Pizzi Chapel, which is situated in the first cloister of the cathedral, is also a must-see. It is recognized as one of the pinnacles of Renaissance architecture and was constructed to a design by Filippo Brunelleschi. 5. Palazzo Pitti. On the more tranquil south side of the Arno River, there is a sizable palace from the 15th century called the Palazzo Pitti. Prior until 1919, when it was given to the Italian government, the palace served as the residence of Florence's monarchs. After that, the palace was converted into a museum complex. The palazzo, which sits on a high position overlooking Florence, has undergone a transformation from a royal mansion to a state-owned public edifice but has managed to keep the feel of a private collection in a stately home. 4. San Lorenzo Basilica. The Basilica di San Lorenzo, one of Florence's oldest churches and the location of the city's main market district, served as the final resting place for all. The church is a prime example of ecclesiastical Renaissance architecture, having been created by Filippo Brunelleschi in the 15th century. This chapel has a stunning, rustic aspect due to the incomplete facade. Pure Renaissance neoclassical beauty can be found inside the church. 3. Piazza della Signoria. The Piazza della Signoria is a stunning plaza located in the middle of several of the greatest attractions in Florence. It has long served as a significant political hub and the scene of countless historic events. The Palazzo Vecchio, the Uffizi Gallery, the Palazzo Uguccione, the Loggia de Lanzi, and the nearby Ponte Vecchio Bridge are just a few of the noteworthy locations tourists can explore in this area. A replica of Michelangelo's statue of David, the Fountain of Neptune, Hercules and Cacus, as well as Perseus with the head of Medusa, are just a few of the renowned sculptures that can be found in this town center. Ponte Vecchio. Of the 6 bridges that span Florence's Arno River, the Ponte Vecchio is the oldest and most renowned. This bridge, also known as the Old Bridge, was the only one to span that river until 1218. According to historians, the original bridge was built during the Roman era. The Pitti Palace, located across the river, was connected by the bridge to the Uffizi Gallery. Sadly, the building was destroyed by a flood in 1333. The bridge was reconstructed in 1345, 12 years later. 3 new arches were added to the bridge's main span in place of the 5 old ones. At this time, the bridge housed businesses and residences that the Bargello, a hybrid mayor and magistrate, had approved. The stores were sold to private proprietors in the early 15th century. Most of the stores were occupied by greengrocers, butchers, and fishmongers. However, Ferdinand I decreed that only goldsmiths and jewelers were allowed to own stores on the bridge in 1593 due to the foul stench of the trash from these enterprises. Today's shops offer both inexpensive jewelry and pricey antiques and leather products. The bridge also functions as a gallery. The Ponte Vecchio was the only bridge in Florence that spans the Arno that the Germans did not destroy during World War II. Instead, they destroyed the structures at either end of the bridge to prevent access. A major flood hit the river once more in November 1966. This time, though, the bridge was able to withstand the pressure of the water and silt. The passageway constructed above the stores has an intriguing history. The Manelli family, who controlled a medieval tower on the bridge, is alleged to have denied Cosimo I Medici, the Duke of Florence, entrance to Palazzo Pitti across the river. Cosimo asked that a unique passageway be constructed around the tower to allow him access to his residence. The Vasari Corridor is a structure that dates back to 1564. On the Ponte Vecchio, using padlocks has become a new custom. On the middle of the bridge, encircled by a fence, is a statue of the renowned goldsmith Cellini. Couples secure a fence with a lock and toss the key into the Arno River. They do this because they want their love to last forever. But there are now so many locks on the fence that anyone caught climbing it will be fined. The Ponte Vecchio is a work of art that incorporates characteristics from many facets of Florentine life. One can watch and take in the many aspects of Florentine life, both old and new, by walking over it. 1. Santa Maria del Fiore. The Santa Maria del Fiore, a domed cathedral also known as the Duomo, dominates the overall picture of Florence. This magnificent cathedral, which has been around for 600 years, boasts the largest masonry dome in the world. The construction of the new church started in 1296 after planning had started in the late 1200s. Unfortunately, the construction was repeatedly halted by politics and the epidemic. Workers were given the order to demolish the nearly finished church and begin again in 1375. The Florence Cathedral was finished in 1436, save for the marble exterior. Arnolfo di Cambio was the first architect to work on the cathedral. He included space for a massive dome to be built on top and gave it a Gothic look. But he had no idea how to construct this dome. Fortunately, this difficulty was solved by jeweler and clockmaker Filippo Brunelleschi. The largest masonry dome ever constructed, Brunelleschi's dome is 45 meters wide and 114.5 meters high, 148 and 377 feet, and it was added in the 15th century. Due to the size of the dome, Brunelleschi adopted a special construction method that had previously been used in Persia. He built the dome out of 37,000 tons of brick, stone, and wood and laid the bricks in an original herringbone pattern. Access to the dome's pinnacle was made possible by the inclusion of 463 steps. For a while, the Florence Cathedral's facade was still only half constructed. Then it was taken apart in 1587 to 1588. At that time, architects considered the original Gothic exterior to be out of date. A competition to create a new facade was held in 1864. The competition was won by Emilio de Fabris, and his facade was finished in 1887. Its green, white, and red marble neo-Gothic facade complemented the cathedral's 14th-century bell tower. It set itself apart from other French churches with its usage of circles, squares, and triangles. That's it for now. View more of our channel's videos. We appreciate you being here.